This powerful, rugged breed with a solemn expression is not inclined to play fetch or frisbee or frolic in the yard with you. Indeed, the Tibetan Mastiff was developed strictly for working purposes, and his instincts to perform that work are ingrained. Livestock guardians bond with flock animals, as well as their own families, with fierce possessiveness, making their own decisions about who is a friend and who is a foe, what is a threat and what is not. In other words, these strong-willed, self-reliant dogs will attempt to take control of every situation unless you are an assertive leader who demands respect. The Tibetan Mastiff is serious and dignified, calm and quiet unless provoked. Aloof with strangers, he will remain watchful every moment they are on his property. This breed is typically patient with his own children and other family pets, but requires careful introduction to those outside the family. The Tibetan Mastiff often prefers to be outdoors where he can view and patrol his territory. However, despite his bulk, this breed is remarkably agile, skilled at climbing and jumping, and requires a 6-foot-high fence. Tibetan Mastiffs also have a deep, impressive bark which they tend to use freely, especially at night when they are most attentive. And they sometimes dig deep holes to lie in. All in all, most Tibetan Mastiffs are too much dog for the average household. Very few people really have the facilities or skills necessary to manage this breed and keep him happy. Tibetan Mastiff Pros. 1. Attention grabber. If you're thinking about getting a Tibetan Mastiff, you'll need to be prepared for a lot of attention and ready to field a lot of questions. The sheer size and striking appearance of these ancient dogs will attract admirers. 2. Independent. The Tibetan Mastiff is considered a dog breed that has a strong independent streak. Indeed, the Tibetan Mastiff's breed standard outlines that these dogs are highly intelligent, independent and strong-willed. It's a good idea to start training your Tibetan Mastiff from a young age, otherwise you may find it difficult to handle a large, unruly dog. Their independent personalities isn't necessarily a negative. 3. Low energy. Tibetan Mastiff don't need a lot of exercise on a daily basis. While you can take your Tibetan Mastiff for a couple of daily walks, you may want to consider other forms of organized activity. The AKC write online that Tibetan Mastiffs could enjoy work-related tasks, such as patrolling their territory. 4. Loyal. If you're looking for a loyal dog breed to be by your side, the Tibetan Mastiff is a good candidate. Once they develop a bond with their pet parents, they'll likely stick to their owners and become a Velcro dog. 5. Guardian. The Tibetan Mastiff is described as a guardian dog supreme by the AKC. They're devoted to their fellow family members but reserved and territorial with people they don't know. Their sheer size should be a sufficient deterrent for any unwanted visitors to the home. With a large bark, anyone foolish to take on the Tibetan Mastiff would soon be outed. 6. Rarity. Should you decide to get a Tibetan Mastiff, you'll likely be the only owner, or one of a few, in your local area. These ancient dogs aren't common, so some dog owners like Jamie consider this to be a perk of the breed. 6. Sociable. Although the breed standard outlines that these dogs should be aloof and reserved with people that they don't know, the Tibetan Mastiff can warm up to new people and new dogs with controlled socialization. 7. Easy to groom. Tibetan Mastiffs shed heavily once a year, but other than that they only require weekly brushing. 8. Love to work. Tibetan Mastiffs enjoy being given a task to complete. 9. Is large, rugged, and powerful, with a thick coat that comes in a variety of colors. 10. Has a solemn expression, carries himself with a dignified presence, and is not inclined to play fetch or frisbee. 11. Is calm and quiet indoors, as an adult. 12. Loves the great outdoors, especially in cold climates, and needs some room to romp. 13. Looks imposing, so makes an effective deterrent, but is not usually aggressive unless provoked. Tibetan Mastiff cons. 1. Stubborn. You probably won't be surprised to learn that Tibetan Mastiffs can be stubborn at times. As these dogs are independent and strong-willed, it can be a challenge to convince these large canines to do your bidding. Even with extensive training, Tibetan Mastiff will sometimes decide to be uncooperative. 2. Huge size. Tibetan Mastiffs can range from 24 inches to 29 inches at the withers and weigh from 70 pounds to 150 pounds. These huge dogs are ideal protectors of the home, but their size can be a hazard. For instance, they can inadvertently knock over smaller members of the family or furniture. But there are some other consequences, too. 3. Drool. If you don't like drool, Tibetan Mastiffs probably aren't the right breed for you. These large dogs drool a lot, so you should be prepared for your fair share of slobber on your clothes and furniture. It's part of life owning a Tibetan Mastiff. 4. Grooming. Tibetan Mastiffs are moderate shedders throughout the year. They've got a double coat with a heavy, woolly undercoat and a coarse, guard outer coat. Once a year, they'll blow out their undercoat. This can be a particularly challenging time of year to be a Tibetan Mastiff owner. You'll need to brush your Tibetan Mastiff daily during the shedding season. 5. Barking. We've already referenced a Tibetan Mastiff's bark earlier in this article. While their loud voice can serve a purpose when it comes to deterring burglars or visitors with ill intentions, it can become a problem if your Tibetan Mastiff is barking 24/7. 6. Challenging to train. Tibetan Mastiffs are very difficult to train and don't respond well to typical training methods. 7. Can be aggressive. If this dog feels like a member of their family is being threatened, the dog may display negative behaviors. 8. Can be destructive. If Tibetan Mastiffs become bored, they can become destructive. 9. A large dog who takes up a lot of space in your house and car. 10. Protective instincts that are firmly ingrained, requiring ongoing socialization, supervision, and control to prevent excessive suspiciousness or aggression toward other people. 11. Aggression toward other animals. 12. Strong-willed mind of his own, requiring a confident owner who can take charge. 13. Slobbering water. 14. Heavy shedding. Final thoughts. These Mastiffs are very independent and intelligent dogs. However, they also have a very affectionate personality towards the people in their family. They can also exhibit protective traits, which may make them more suspicious of strangers. Are you thinking about getting a Tibetan Mastiff? Let us know what you decide in the comments below. And if you know someone who's thinking about getting a Tibetan Mastiff, please share this with them. If you liked this video, check out our website. The link is in the description of this video. Otherwise, have a great day. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.